你信不信没有一个单身是无辜的？
I always say that there are too few people who share my faith. I'm a Christian and I have to find a Christian partner. But in Beijing there are plenty of Christians, right? So why am I still single? Aren't most of those Christians already married? The truth is, it's not just that I require the other person to be a Christian. I also demand that they have a good height, good looks, and solid financial conditions. That's why I'm single. The reasons you're single are also self-inflicted. Not a single one of us is innocent in our singleness.
80后的未婚女孩真的是不少了哈。
Unmarried girls born in the 80s are just rotten cabbage. I've told you before. I suggested you become stepmoms, but you weren't willing. So, how many outstanding guys your age are actually still waiting for you? Take a look, it's already 2025 now. And the post-2000 generation is already 25 years old. Lately, the ones signing up are girls born in 2000, 1999, 1998. So what are you girls from the 80s supposed to do?
我是88年的985硕士学历。
I was born in 88, with a master's from a 985 university. And at 36, I still haven't found a partner. I think I need to change my bad temper. Stop aiming too high. And let go of unrealistic dreams about love. Getting married is the practical path. Life is really just about the daily grind. And a simple, ordinary life is what's real. We need to realize that marriage was never about enjoying life. It's about taking on responsibility. Every marriage involves hardship. That's the norm.
就感觉上了35岁，别说不要彩礼。
After 35. Forget about not asking for a dowry. Even if I offered to pay one, it seems no one's interested. It's honestly pretty scary. I can't drag this out any longer. If I wait too long, I won't even be able to have kids. But rushing doesn't help either. The moment they hear I'm 35, they turn and walk away. Not even bothering to ask about my house, car, or education. I feel like my only option now is to go back to my rural hometown and try my luck in the village.
我今年是35岁，未婚未育。
I'm 35 this year, unmarried and childless. And by now, I don't even have a single good friend left. Back in my 20s, I actually had some close friends. We'd go shopping together, travel together. And our bond was really strong. During each other's low points, we could support and comfort one another. But now they've all gradually drifted away. I've stayed single this whole time, while the friends around me have gotten married and had kids. In their lives, you get pushed further and further to the back. So, after many of them started families, we just stopped keeping in touch. There were some friends I still got along with fairly well. But as you get older, you become more and more clear-headed. You start to realize that those relationships weren't actually as good as you thought. There's some falseness mixed in, even a few petty motives. For example, back in college, there was a girl who skipped class. When the teacher asked everyone to write something for credit, he asked a friend she was on good terms with to help her write it and turn it in. But the friend just said, "I didn't bring a pen and I didn't write anything either." In reality, she had brought a pen and had already submitted her own work. She just didn't want to help. At the time, this didn't affect their relationship. To others, they still seemed close enough to share a pair of pants. But by your 30s, you start seeing through these little schemes more easily, and it gets exhausting. Gradually, you don't want to bother with it anymore. Honestly, rather than keeping such fake friends, being alone feels just fine. Isn't there a saying, loneliness is the default state of life? Of course, it's possible to meet a truly good friend, but that takes a bit of luck.
45岁没结婚，我让他们骂得老惨。
At 45 and still unmarried, I've been scolded to death. Relatives and friends love bringing it up after tea or meals, especially after 30. It's like this became the only topic anyone cared about. Being asked so much, sometimes I even start doubting myself. Am I really aiming too high? Or did I actually do something wrong? A couple of days ago, a song went viral, called "We're Not Bad, So Why Can't We Be Happy?" It really hit me hard. I'm a good person too, you know. hard-working at my job, wholehearted with my friends, devoted to my family. So why am I the one left behind? This can't possibly be my fault alone. My parents have been happily married for over 60 years. There's nothing wrong with their marriage. So where's the problem? It's probably on me. I'm a bit stubborn. I've always thought marriage is a big deal, something you can't just settle for. But the older you get, the more you experience, the more you think about, and the more angles you see things from. In the end, I've created this perfect closed loop for myself. Marriage feels like it's got nothing to do with me anymore. So, marriage is something you've got to do when you're young, when you've still got that burst of energy. Don't you think?
我内心里面有阴影，我特别害怕和男生相处。
To be honest with everyone, I've figured out why I can't get married. It's because I've been hurt by guys before. There's a shadow in my heart. And I'm terrified of being around men. I even resist it strongly. Whenever I see a guy, I get scared. I don't dare to interact with them anymore. Afraid he'll treat me badly. Afraid of domestic violence. Afraid of cheating. I'm genuinely terrified. It's not that I don't want to get married. I'm afraid of marriage itself. I'm really, really scared. After being hurt, my mind's become twisted. I don't dare to genuinely open up to a guy anymore. And I don't even know how to deal with them. My dad pressures me. My mom pressures me. My whole family pressures me. Relatives and friends pressure me. Everyone around me is pushing me. I know. The problem lies with me. I'm sick. I have an emotional disorder. I'm done pretending. I admit it. I've dated jerks. Mama's boys. Abusive men. I've encountered every type out there. Now, I honestly don't know how to date anymore. Most likely, I won't be able to get married in this lifetime.
为什么说年龄大了之后找对象那么难呢？
To be honest with everyone, I've figured out why I can't get married. It's because I've been hurt by guys before. There's a shadow in my heart. And I'm terrified of being around men. I even resist it strongly. Whenever I see a guy, I get scared. I don't dare to interact with them anymore. Afraid he'll treat me badly. Afraid of domestic violence. Afraid of cheating. I'm genuinely terrified. It's not that I don't want to get married. I'm afraid of marriage itself. I'm really, really scared. After being hurt, my mind's become twisted. I don't dare to genuinely open up to a guy anymore. And I don't even know how to deal with them. My dad pressures me. My mom pressures me. My whole family pressures me. Relatives and friends pressure me. Everyone around me is pushing me. I know. The problem lies with me. I'm sick. I have an emotional disorder. I'm done pretending. I admit it. I've dated jerks. Mama's boys. Abusive men. I've encountered every type out there. Now, I honestly don't know how to date anymore. Most likely, I won't be able to get married in this lifetime.
我90年的35岁了，我不是不想结婚。
I was born in 90 and I'm 35 now. It's not that I don't want to get married. I just haven't met a man who treats me well, or one I'd want to marry. If there's a man out there who makes me feel secure, who I'm physically attracted to, who I'd be willing to marry, and who's also willing to marry me, I'd marry him without hesitation, whether it's his first marriage or his second. But if there isn't, that's fine too. I'm used to being on my own, and I can still live a good life. I only have two options. Either find the right person to marry, or live alone. I'd never just settle for anyone, nor would I compromise, because if I forced myself into a marriage, both my mind and body would feel off, and I'd end up living in pain, regret, and resentment. That kind of life, I couldn't handle even a single day of it.
我今年初5就回广州了。
In fact, our generation of older unmarried women isn't single because we don't want to marry. It's because reality forces us to think carefully. We once had beautiful fantasies about love, and we once threw ourselves into someone without hesitation. But the outcomes made us realize that marriage isn't just about love. It requires more practical conditions to hold it together. Some say we've been left behind, but we'd rather say we've stayed behind. Staying behind doesn't mean we're not good enough. It means we haven't yet met someone willing to spend a lifetime with us. In today's marriage market, the men we encounter are often divorced, with kids, or much younger than us, while the high-quality men our age have long since started their own families. What we want isn't much, just a partner who respects us, supports us, and walks through life's storms by our side. But as we age, we've seen through too much of reality, and it's harder to fully invest ourselves in a new relationship. Some urge us to lower our standards, saying we should just marry anyone willing to take us. But it's not that we're unwilling to marry. It's that we refuse to marry just for the sake of it. At its core, marriage is about responsibility, mutual understanding, and support, not about settling for someone just because time's running out. So, even if we reach 35 or 40 and still aren't married, it's not a scary thing. What's scary is losing our hope for life, our pursuit of happiness. If we don't meet the right person, then we'll focus on building our own lives, because alone, we can still live brilliantly. Life's road is long, and marriage isn't the finish line, it's just one option. We might keep waiting, or we might choose to live alone in the end. But whichever path we take, we hope to live with peace and self-acceptance. Not anxious about our age, not compromising because of others' opinions.
The video is coming to an end, and if you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing. I'll keep updating with content you love, and your support is my biggest motivation to keep going. Also, feel free to leave any suggestions in the comments. I'll be picking some of your feedback from there, and those selected will get a mysterious reward from me.